Welcome to Keeping It Real, the largest podcast made for real estate agents and by real estate agents. My name is DJ Paris. I am your guide and host through the show. Today, as always, is our monthly series called the Monday Market Minute with Carrie McCormick from the Carrie McCormick Real Estate Group with @Properties here in Chicago. Now, Carrie is a top 1% producer in the Chicagoland area with over 20 years of experience helping buyers, sellers, and investors. In fact, in the past 12 months, out of 44,000 real estate agents in the Chicagoland area, Carrie is ranked in the top 15 in production. That's out of all of the real estate agents here locally. She's a true superstar and an expert in everything from first-time home buyers, veteran investors, and luxury properties. She also works with a lot of developers and is often chosen to represent their high-end developments. Please visit Carrie at her website, which is Carrie McCormick, R-E, and I'll spell that. It's CarrieMcCormick.com. And also, please follow her on Instagram. You can find her at Carrie McCormick Real Estate for all you Instagram people. Carrie, welcome once again to the show.
Thank you. That's quite the introduction. It's long, but thank you.
We're excited. Well, we get excited when we have somebody who's as successful and generous with their time as you. And I know how busy you are. So what are we going to talk about today?
Yeah, so I wanted to talk about referrals. Part of growing my business, I've been doing this for 21 years, has been networking with brokers outside of Chicago, whether it's in the suburban markets or in other states. And as we know in this market, there's been so much movement in and out of Chicago. So if there's any brokers that are listening that are outside of Chicago and they need someone that's good here to take care of their clients, just so you know, I am always available to do that. I love networking with other brokers and doing referrals. And I think, anyone listening in their own markets should really concentrate on growing their network as well and working with other brokers. I've done a ton between Florida, between Arizona. I just feel like it's been everywhere that I've been talking with these brokers, and not only for referrals and business growth, it's just good to collaborate on marketing and just, what they're seeing in their market, just so we get a broader picture. So don't always look at referrals as, an income source, which is great. And that's important as well, but it's a knowledge source as well.
Yeah, I agree. I've actually interviewed some agents recently for our show who have taken the leap to be exclusively referral based, and they don't directly work with clients themselves anymore. And literally all they do is just refer business all over the country, and they sit at their desk all day. So you could even go to that extreme if our listeners really want to. That's a big shift. But even if you're, out there working with clients yourself, you're going to run into opportunities where people are wanting to move to another location, and really a good idea to identify those retirement zones or those second home zones or vacation home places and start talking to other agents in that area.
Yeah, no, I think it's great. And for 2022, one of my goals is to pick 5 key markets, and I'm actually going to go fly out and have lunch or dinner with some of the brokers just to really do a one-on-one. So something fun, and you can travel and, get some knowledge and meet brokers. So that's going to be one of my goals in 2022. But one thing I want to talk about is just the state of the market of where we are at. And I always like to kind of give a little bit of a keyword. I think right now we're headed more into a balanced market. I'm going to read some real quick stats just of why we're seeing this more balanced market. And the median home sales went pending in 9 days, which is 1 day longer than in August, which is not a big shift. But as you start seeing the numbers start to move a little bit, it's just giving us indicators of where this market is going. So we've seen homes sit on the market just a little bit longer than we did in August. And then inventory has been up. It says 0.4% from August. It's a very small gain, but again, these small gains will start to accumulate over some time, and we're going to start seeing a little bit more of a slowdown as we go into this holiday season. Again, we're starting to see more inventory hit the market, and I really think buyers are a little fatigued from the battle that we had this last spring and summer. And that's kind of how I feel. I feel a little bit beat up from this market of just, we were a constant battle with our buyers of trying to get the homes in these competitive situations. So I think everyone's taking a little bit of a breather and we're headed back into a balanced market. And I think it's good. I think it's good. But one thing we do have to think about and worry about is 2022. A lot of my buyers and sellers, of course, ask us as brokers for predictions. What's 2022 going to be like? And as much as we'd like to answer that question and be able to be right, we just don't know. But we also look at indicators. And when you're working with a broker like myself or anyone else who's been in the market a long time, and we've seen the ups and downs of these markets, we do have a good handle on what we see, especially when you're in and out of the market and you're seeing the activity and you're seeing what's selling and what's not selling. But a few things we have to worry about is mortgage rates. There's speculation that mortgage rates are going to pop up a little bit.
Yeah.
And then this mortgage forbearance programs, they're all expiring soon. So we have to think about that. We have to think about these folks that had overpaid for properties and just, what happens with the job market. And lastly, the big word that a lot of people are talking about is inflation. So there's a risk of policy tightening, inflation, higher mortgage rates. All of that is going to affect the housing market to some degree. My own personal opinion is I do think that 2022 is going to be a very strong year as well, maybe not as crazy as 2021. We're probably not going to see the gains that we saw this past year, but I do think we're going to see a nice healthy 2022. And then even just looking into 2023, I think we'll really start to see a little bit of a slowdown, but nothing major unless something crazy happens in this world, of course, stuff we can't predict. But, we are seeing a nice healthy 2022 coming around the corner for us.
Yeah, that's encouraging. I'm excited to hear that. It seems like there's maybe a minor correction going on with just rates and things are slowing down, but that probably gives buyers more of an opportunity to compete, which is in a weird way is probably better than when rates are so low, because then it almost seemed like all the agents that I knew who were representing buyers were just really frustrated over the last year. It was really hard to get offers even noticed or to compete, and people were doing really creative things, but it was just the speed of which those offers were going out and being considered was, oh my gosh, you were probably dealing with it all year.
Yeah. And I think too, as brokers, we have to look back and, it was a definite learning curve, even again, for someone who's got experience. I went through other great markets like this. I've gone through crashes, but, really in the last 20 years, I can't think of any market that we were competing like this. And we all learned a new skill set too, and just different ways to structure deals and to get things done. So I think from, again, growing as a professional and servicing our clients correctly, we all learned some different skills of how to get deals done and be creative and get things done. But it was pretty brutal. I mean, it was quite the battleground out there.
Well, that really is, it's so interesting, and hopefully agents are not as overworked as they maybe were, although I know you're always working, but hopefully agents are starting to take a little bit of a breather to just catch their breath. But before we go to I'm sorry, I wanted to head over to our marketing minute because Carrie and I wanted to talk about gifts for the holiday season, because it is that time of the year where agents are starting to think about, are they going to provide something? Are they going to send something out or do a pop by or do some sort of gesture of thanks to previous clients or current clients or just their network, their sphere of influence. But before we get to that, I have just a quick commercial to read from one of our amazing sponsors. So I'm going to talk very quickly about Follow Up Boss, which is my favorite CRM. And also, after interviewing hundreds of top realtors in the country, this is the CRM that comes up more than any other when I'm talking to agents going, hey, what tools do you use? So we're super excited to have them as a sponsor. But let's face it, following up is the key to taking your business to the next level. Follow Up Boss will help you drive more leads in less time and with less effort. Don't take my word for it. Robert Slack, who runs the #1 team in the United States, uses Follow Up Boss, and he has built a $1.5 billion business in just 6 years. Follow Up Boss integrates with over 250 different systems, so you can keep your current lead sources and tools. They also have 7-day-a-week support, so you'll get the help you need when you need it. And get this, Follow Up Boss is so sure, so confident that you're going to love their CRM that for a limited time, they're offering Keeping It Real podcast listeners a 30-day free trial. Now, that's twice as much time as they give everybody else. So, and oh, by the way, no credit card required. So it is truly risk-free, but only if you use this special link. So please visit followupboss.com/real. Once again, that's followupboss.com/real for your free 30-day trial. Follow up like a boss with Follow Up Boss. Thanks for that. And thank you to our sponsor. So Carrie, gifts for the holidays. What are your thoughts about that? I'm curious because I have some thoughts as well.
Yeah, every year I try something different. This year, one thing I want to say before we talk about the gifts is that since it's been such a great year for all of us as brokers, and we just keep in mind, again, someone who's been through this before is, you did great this year. Your numbers have doubled. You made a lot of money. A lot of people, don't reinvest in their business. They've made, just making up numbers, $10,000 extra this year. They're like, going to go buy a car or go buy, something for themselves, which is great, but you've got to take some of that money and reinvest it back into your business. And gifting is a great way to do that, because giving to someone, obviously you want something, you give it to them and you're hoping that they're going to give something to you in return, which is
Sure.
referrals or, more business, but it's just being thoughtful. So, I always send out holiday cards. I send out magnets this year, and every year I've done something different. And I would really love, if there's any brokers out there that want to have conversations about this, to hear what other gifts have done, well for people. This year, I'm going to be sending out, I'm a chocolate lover. I've got such a sweet tooth, and I love toffee. I love chocolate. I love truffles. And I think that's one thing over the holiday that's fun to give because, it's something that you're going to use. So I think that's where I'm going this year. We're putting our holiday plan together. But do you have any suggestions, DJ?
I do. So we just started adding in, I have 2 different meal services that I use, one locally here in Chicago for my lunches at work, and then one for dinner. And for the dinner one, I actually have to make that. They send it to one of those meal kit companies. Mm-hmm. And so we just started doing this and we actually liked it. We're like, okay, this is actually pretty fun. So as a result, about 4 nights a week, I'm actually preparing a meal where I'm cutting and, dicing and cooking and doing all of the things to create these meals. And I realized I use my cutting board and my knives now 4 nights a week. And I thought, what a cool opportunity for agents to, if you're thinking about a holiday gift, maybe think about what are some tools or some just items in somebody's home that they use regularly or you use regularly or that you'd see regularly. And think about, and again, buying somebody a cutting board, I guess could be expensive depending on the type of cutting board you get, or buying them instead of knives could be incredibly expensive. So it doesn't have to be expensive items, but anything that's used often. And I don't even know that you need to put your name on it, although you certainly could. But I know if somebody bought me a cutting board and I was using it, I would think about them every so often, maybe 4 times a week. So I always think, finding things that are in front of the agent's face the client's face as much as possible is always a great idea. And here's just one quick little suggestion for those of you that are working with clients right now, especially buyers, I think, although you could certainly do this with sellers too, but buyers, maybe this makes more sense. I don't know. So as you're going to somebody's first showing, take a picture of them at every showing that you give them before they even put an offering, because you never know which house they're going to fall in love with. And maybe even do it with their back to you as they're about to enter the house for the first time. And then if that's the home they end up choosing, then take pictures of them every time they visit that home, or certainly when it closes. And now you probably have, maybe 5, 6, 10 photos of the entire buying process. And what you could do if you really wanted to is you could just put one of those pictures every year in a frame, which would be relatively expensive, and send that to them and say, here's another picture of, or if you don't have to do it for 10 straight years, but maybe you send them 3 pictures in a frame or 1 picture of them and that process. And it's really cost effective. And I think that would be so cool. And you could literally do that on the anniversary date or during the holiday.
I love that. I think that's such a great idea. Now
Yeah,
we
it's a
just need to
fun
find
one.
someone to help with that.
Because I would love a picture. See, I went and saw the place that I purchased, which Carrie happened to represent as well. So, and Carrie wasn't there when I did the showing. So I actually went by myself, and I thought, wouldn't it have been cool? I should have taken a picture of my girlfriend and I seeing the place for the first time. I just didn't think about it. And we did take pictures with the other agent Lisa, when we were looking at, so she actually did that. And that's what it reminded me of that. And so I thought, oh, well, that'd be fun to be reminded
cool.
of that. So that's my only suggestion. Think about items that are used a lot or that are really emotional. And if you can attach yourself to that emotion, of course, great idea. So either find something that's repetitive, like some sort of kitchen device maybe, or something in the bathroom, or something that is highly emotional, like when they bought or when they saw the place for the first time. But that's all I got for this week, or this month rather. And so Carrie is insanely busy, so we are going to let her get back to her busy day. But before we do, we want to mention, if there are any buyers, sellers, investors, or agents who have buyers, sellers, or investors who are moving to the Chicagoland area, and you'd love to work with an agent, one of the very best agents here in Chicago, Carrie would love to chat with you. So feel free to reach out to her. Carrie, what's the best way someone should reach you if they're somebody that wants to work with you?
Yes, I always say call me, 312-961-4612. Or if you want to text me, email me, whatever you like. My email's Carrie, CARRIE, at properties.com.
And please follow Carrie on Instagram. We didn't talk about it on this call or this episode, but she has an incredibly effective and impressive Instagram account that she does all herself, which is even more impressive. So visit and follow her at Carrie McCormick Real Estate. That's McCormick with 2 C's. So Carrie McCormick Real Estate on Instagram, and also visit her website, which is also really cool, carriemccormickre.com. Well, thank you, Carrie, for your time. Once again, she's been with us since the very beginning of the show. We're so grateful to have her. And we're so grateful that she continues to find time to do this. Thanks also to our sponsor, Follow Up Boss. Please visit followupboss.com/real, get your free 30-day trial. And we will see everybody on the next episode. Thanks, Carrie.
Sounds good. Enjoy the day.
You too.